Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be my feminist, man-hating girlfriend. I've got an email here from a viewer who started dating a woman, and he started noticing some controlling feminist tendencies in this particular woman. She tends to act unnatural and fight her natural urges and instincts to reach out, to pursue, to be comfortable with letting a man take control, to be comfortable with submitting to a man. So I've got a quote that I wrote on this particular topic, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "Feminism originally was a great movement that came about in the early 20th century in order to help women earn the right to vote, earn equal rights to men, and no longer be treated like they were property, objects, or second-class citizens. However, modern-day feminism often takes the women's liberation movement to unhealthy extremes. You can see this in most television programs and movies. Men are generally portrayed as being stupid, inept, weak, feminine, and often as having little use other than being sperm donors. This has created an imbalance and blurring of the masculine and feminine roles in relationships. Many women who are devout feminists tend to act too masculine and domineering. This ruins the sexual polarity between men and women and causes unnecessary conflict in relationships. If you find yourself dating a beautiful but feminazi woman who is determined to be the leader or man in your relationship, you're never going to feel comfortable, centered, or very happy unless you are a very feminine man. If you are a very masculine man and your natural essence is masculine energy, you should avoid dating feminazi women and only date women who are extremely feminine and looking for a strong man who they are eager to submit to once he demonstrates himself to be worthy." So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi Corey, I'm a devout student of yours and I really learned a lot. I was planning to continue practicing, continue reading your book all 15 times and watching videos. All was going smoothly. But now I ran into this lady who really rocked my boat and my reactions are confusing the hell out of me. So I reached out to you for some emergency coaching to get back on track. I'll give you a brief background and share a success story and then describe my problem. I'll really make an effort to be as brief as possible." I like brevity. He says, "I recently got divorced after 20 years of marriage and 2 children. Now after studying your material, I know what went wrong. I was strong when I met my wife, but then I resigned as the leader of the relationship." That's definitely a bad fucking idea. What you see in couples that have been together a long time, they both kind of become androgynous. They both tend to gain weight. They wear baggy clothes. The woman stops wearing makeup. She kind of butches her hair. She stops wearing makeup. And so when they walk together, they kind of wear the same clothes, same baggy outfits. The woman's usually out in front. The kids are behind her, and the husband is last. He's like the caboose. Go to the mall. You don't believe me? Go to the mall and you can observe this fucking behavior. And she, a lot of times she's always got a scowl on her face. She's bitchy. Why? Because this particular guy has made her become the man in the relationship, and she doesn't like it because it's not her natural essence. And so she's overweight, she's unattractive, she doesn't even dress or look feminine anymore because she gave that up a long time ago. And it's sad, but you see it time and time again. Like I said, don't believe me? Go to the fucking mall, and you will see it everywhere. It's really sad. These guys are totally fucking emasculated. They're not getting laid, and it's just, we're staying in for the kids, though. So now the kids can go out and seek out that same kind of loveless, sexless, unaffectionate type of relationship. Because that's what they're being taught. And yet the parents think, hey, we're staying in it for the kids. Great, now you're fucking your kids' lives up too. So he says, "She pushed and pushed for me to be the man, and I withdrew more and more until I finally left. The interesting thing is, when I presented her with this analysis recently, she confirmed that this was exactly what happened." Huh. Imagine that. "When I started dating after the divorce, it was a mess. I look okay, so more than a few women wanted to date me, but I talked them right out of liking me. I came through as weak, needy, and without a purpose. I sought the advice of several love doctors. Their material was useful, but it made me depressed and it made me look down on women. Not until I found you did I realize that women are great once you understand them. Abso-fucking-lutely. I think women are the best thing since sliced bread. I found that to be a fact. Now, the success story. About 9 months ago, there was this lady that I already knew and she liked me. One night, she sent me a text with some excuse to contact me. She's putting herself into your orbit in hopes that you create an opportunity for sex time. And that is the man's job, is to create an opportunity for sex time. That's what a date is. Ultimately, you hang out, you have fun, and at some point, you're going to hook up, depending upon how religion interjects itself into your sex life. I immediately assumed she'd like to see me. The next morning, I sent a text back saying we should get together. When are you free? I think I've heard that somewhere. She said this afternoon or Tuesday. I suggested the same afternoon and set a date. We met, had coffee, walked, and had dinner. We talked for several hours. It was difficult to read her attraction level, and she didn't touch me, but I still had a feeling that she liked my company. Well, because I know what happens later on in the email, I can tell this girl's holding back. She's got all these rules that she's been taught either because she was super religious, super conservative, or she's a feminist, and feminists don't like the man being the leader because they're equals. Just before parting, we were standing really close, so I leaned in for a kiss and I got the cheek. Oof. That's why I teach. When you get the cheek, it's like, you never call, never text again. You don't go out with those kind of women because they're holding back. If they're holding back in your very first date, this is a pattern. This is a way they show up. This is a learned behavior. I don't want to fix that. I want a woman who's just like all over me because she's into me. He says, on the way home, I figured I had talked her out of liking me. However, inspired by you, I thought, never mind. I went for it and it didn't work out this time. No regrets. It was good practice. So in his mind, he's like, I'm not calling her again. Fuck it. She had her chance and she gave me the fucking cheek. I'm a catch. You're going to give me the cheek? Man, I'm not going out with you again. The next day, she sent a text and it said, we should meet up again. Huh. This definitely tells me she was holding back on purpose. I don't like that. I don't date women like that. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. Doesn't mean you can't seduce women like this. It just means that having a relationship with them, why do you want to go out with a girl who's holding back all the time? It's not for me. I invited her for dinner at my place and picked her up at work. We cooked and had dinner, and when she touched my arm on the sofa, I kissed her, which led to serious making out. She said she didn't want to go all the way, but wanted to stay the night. Sure. Therefore, I don't want to go all the way, but I'll stay the night. In other words, I'm going to have sex with you as long as you don't talk me out of it, because I don't want any responsibility for this shit. I said, fine, no problem, but once we were lying in bed, she still went all the way. We've been together since. I did a video recently called I Don't Want to Go All the Way. We had a really romantic week this summer. One night, she really let go and danced for me in the living room. She then sat on my lap, kissed me, and told me that she really felt safe with me and she could be herself in my company. It was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. I was her mountain and she was really in her feminine. I would never have experienced all of this so effortlessly if it had not been for you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Glad you got the memory. But now, here are some problems. To be as brief as possible, again, I like brevity, and you're kind of pushing the boundary here on being brief. I have to mix some observations with my own conclusions, right or wrong. I believe this lady has a very complicated relationship with men and masculinity. Well, I noticed that right away in the very beginning of your email. She grew up in a very conservative religious environment with no sex before marriage, etc. So she's got all these rules that she was taught that aren't really her own, that are affecting her behavior and her natural instincts. The things that I teach what actually works. I teach what men and women respond to. As long as they're natural, as long as they're healthy, and they're not following some kind of act. She then left that to become a devout feminist. My belief is she just switched from one religion considering masculinity a threat to another. That's a pretty fucking good assessment, dude. Good job. That tells me you've been paying attention. You obviously learned enough from my book to notice these signs. I'm not talking about equality here, but a bit of radical philosophy, wishing to question masculinity and all that crap. Totally agree with that, dude. She's very sexy, but has difficulties letting go in bed. And women like that, a lot of times they often have trouble orgasming because they don't feel comfortable letting themselves go. They feel it's kind of dirty or naughty or shameful. She feels very little from penetration, but I can do other things to help her get off, which is fine. Some of the sex drives me wild, but then there are these little things that she does, consciously or not, to question my masculinity. She asks little questions like, why is it important for you to penetrate your lady? You don't need to be strong. Look, I could get on top without bending my leg. Another reason why I don't date women like this. It's like it shows up in the bedroom. It just shows up in everything that they do. And it's like, bleh, bleh. You know, it's like I'm 45 now. It's like I've been with enough women like this, and I've been with enough women who are just, they act upon their emotions and their feelings, and they trust what feels right. And I love that because I'm a guy that follows his heart. I'm all into law of attraction. We live in a universe where you literally can draw people and circumstances to you just by your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and moving towards the things that you want in life. So to me, when I personally encounter a woman that's like this is somebody that's swimming against the current. I've learned it's a lot more efficient to just go with the flow in life. When you try to force things like this, it sucks ass. And when you date somebody that's like this, it just creates problems. Think about it. You want to get her off and you want to feel successful that she's having fun in bed, but she's like, no, I'm not going to turn my leg a certain way. Or no, you can't fuck me in that position. I'm not comfortable with that. Fuck that. Sometimes while I'm at it, she says things like, we're having coffee. She says things like that when we're having coffee. When I called her a wonderful woman during the act, she replied that I'm a beautiful human being. She says, I want a relationship, not I want a man. These little things slip through my net, but all put together, they drive me crazy. To add to this, a great interest of hers is dancing. I was fine with this. You've got to love in such a way that the person you love feels free, right? So I said, you go dancing when I'm busy with my children, if you like. I thought it was like a sport, like you see on TV, but when I finally saw her dancing, it was like a blow to the stomach. These guys were holding her extremely tight, pressing their leg against her, holding the back of her neck, and rubbing their forehead against hers. She had her hand lightly on their chest, her eyes closed, and followed their lead to the tiniest move. Dude, you ever watch Dancing with the Stars? You ever watch anybody dance the salsa? This is the way dancing is done, dude. And a lot of times the guys that they're dancing with are fucking gay anyway, so... He says, I feel this is the woman in her desiring to submit to a man. She uses dancing to be completely submissive to a man, but she can't do that with me. She has to question me, and I felt this to be a deep betrayal. Now you're getting jealous and insecure of her dance partners. That's not cool. Her dancing was like a sexual act to me, where she was giving herself to these men more than she gives herself to me. I wish I'd been a man and spoken up immediately, but I dwelt on this for some days. I finally explained my feelings to her, and she more or less agreed to stop this kind of dancing altogether. I can't accept that a lady who's with me engages in such intimate dancing with other men. Am I strange here? Dude, quite frankly, you got no right to expect her to give up something that she loves to do. Really, because of your jealousy and your insecurity. And at the end of the day, if a woman wants to cheat on you, she's going to cheat, and there's not a fucking thing you can do to stop it. What you really should do is, because obviously dancing is important to her, even though you don't like dancing, go take a fucking class with her. She would love that. It would mean the world to her. After this, feelings of jealousy have started to come up. So these are your weaknesses and your insecurities and your fears and your doubts that you're now projecting on her. This tells me that you're really starting to care about this girl, and now you fear losing her. This has completely surprised me because I thought I'd outgrown that. When we were on our way to celebrate the New Year, she let me know that she got a text from an old boyfriend. That really pissed me off, but I kept it to myself. She's telling you because she wants you to know that there's nothing going on. And she's communicating. that's what a good woman will do, to let you know out of respect for you that, hey, I got an ex-boyfriend that reached out, or this guy that used to like me has reached out to me. It's her way of saying, hey, there's nothing going on, and I care about you and what we have, and that's a sign of respect. So that's a good sign. Also, she's too open about her old relationships, including details. She wanted to visit an old boyfriend of hers on a trip we planned, and that also pissed me off, but I kept it inside. I finally felt that as a man, I should be direct with my views and feelings. I calmly told her I simply have no desire to visit her old boyfriends. She quickly agreed not to. I would have said the same thing. I would have said, you know what? I'm really not interested in going and hanging out and having a trip down memory lane with old boyfriends of yours. Sorry, it doesn't work for me. Now, if the old boyfriends are married and they got wives and kids and they want to get together and double date, okay. That's understandable. He says also she's very politically correct, which makes it difficult to talk about certain subjects. I support the police and she supports the protesters. I support the armed forces when she'd rather we had none. I've dated women that are liberals, and I'm conservative, libertarian. I think both Republican and Democratic parties are as useless as tits on a board. We're kind of fucking stuck with them for now. And I haven't seen any good candidates. They're fucking useless. I've had those conversations. It's like whether they're a Republican or they're a liberal, it's like they're just stuck in their talking points. And it's like a lot of times they talk like somebody that's brainwashed. It's like they don't even think about what they're saying. They just heard it on their favorite news channel and they just fucking vomit it up or regurgitate it. I feel she looks down on ordinary people from her ivory tower. When I discussed feminism with her, I got agitated and lost my masculine core, which was not attractive. So here are my questions. How can I handle her problems with men? I feel perhaps naively that she really needs a strong man since she's testing so hard and I could be the man. Well, you need to act more like a man consistently. And you getting jealous of the dancing or other guys, that's just, all that's going to do is cause her to sense weakness, pull away, and test more. He says, I actually broke it off once since I saw no future, but she pursued me and I took her back because she's very sexually, and I actually do have a lot of love for her. She's fun and exciting to be with, but at the same time, I feel pain inside. She's obviously in love with me, although I got a feeling she's somewhat flaky lately, probably because I showed weakness. Yeah, she doesn't trust your masculine core because of how you've been behaving. At the same time, she's talking about a future 10 years from now, living together, getting engaged, etc., but her mood goes up and down and it makes me really tired. Could I be a man here, or should I just let her go? Either way, I want to learn something from this so I can develop as a man. What's going on? Well, when you're vacillating in your masculinity and you're not sure of yourself, you're going to cause her to become unsure of you, become unsure of the relationship, and not be comfortable letting you be the leader. But like I said, the things I pointed out earlier, she's not acting natural because of her conservative upbringing, because she's obviously a feminist. And so a lot of times she's not acting upon, including the bedroom, acting upon what she feels is right. How should a real man deal with jealousy? Don't be jealous, because the only thing you can do is be her best option. And if she's going to cheat, if loyalty doesn't mean anything to her, there's nothing you can do about it. Is it just low self-esteem or a sign of weakness and something I need to deal with myself, or do I have some justification for these feelings? Well, that's your own bullshit, dude. You need to deal with your own weaknesses, your own insecurities, your own fears, and your own doubts, and your jealousies. Because it's not going to be helpful. Not only with her, or with any future woman that you may date. I expect myself to not be jealous of her past, and at the same time, I don't expect to be some kind of therapist listening to her stories about loves and disappointments, especially when I don't ask and they are too detailed or referred to often. Well, again, just change the subject. Just say, you know what? Unless you feel it's something you got to get off your chest, I really don't want to talk about explicit details, or intimate details of you and your ex-boyfriends or your lovers. How does a gentleman handle differences in political opinions and values without getting into an argument and losing his center, while at the same time standing up for who he is? State who you are, and at the end of the day, when you get somebody that's just ideologically opposed to you, it's beat your fucking head against the wall. You're pretty much not going to change them. You're not going to change. You may wear them down over time, especially if your perspective is a superior way of showing up, meaning your goals, your values, the way you show up in life is more aligned with our natural essence. In time, yeah, they'll entrain and go along with you. But if deep down you're not really sure and you don't really believe in your ideology and there's some doubt there, she's going to exploit it. Am I right when I think that I need to be a man who expresses opinions directly, clearly, and considerately while at the same time working on my inner game so I don't need to get these bad feelings? However, at the same time, I feel displaying jealousy makes me look weak. Absolutely, it makes you look weak. And you should definitely express your feelings, but not when it's coming from a place of weakness or manipulation or trying to control her. This girl has clearly caused me to lose my masculine core, which I believe is what attracted her to me in the first place. Do I just need to get out and have more relationship with women and get over this? I've had less than 10. Do I have some justification for feeling bad? Again, what I would do is I would just see how it goes. I mean, it's really too soon to really make any determinations, but see how it goes. I mean, see if it gets any better over the next 6 months or the next year or so. But I personally wouldn't want to date a woman like this where her feminism and her conservative upbringing is affecting how she's showing up in the bedroom. It's affecting how affectionate or unaffectionate she is. It's also causing her to be cold and robotic and masculine at times when you really want her to be feminine. But it's your life, dude. So I would just date and see how it goes. I give it another 6 months or a year before you make any kind of determination. See if she continues to become more submissive and more feminine. And then you can make a determination at that time. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.